Hello, it's IELTS with me tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how to write a Band 9 essay for your IELTS writing task 2. Okay? In this module, we'll focus on writing task 2, opinion over discussion type essay. We will focus on paragraph structure, using evidences, and reporting views. Let's go on. Our question is, some people support the idea of imposing taxes on fossil fuels, such as oil, coal, and gas, in order to reduce energy consumption. Others disagree with this approach. Okay? Consider the debate and its arguments and come to your own conclusion. Okay, let's go on. What should we pay attention? We see that this is an opinion over discussion type essay. You have to discuss both sides of the topic, right? You should introduce the topic, right? And after that, discuss both sides, one side here and the other side this. And at the end, give your opinion in the conclusion. Okay? Pay attention to this. Okay, here we provided a Band 9 sample answer. And let's go on, read it, and learn more about it, okay? Let's go on. Most people agree that the use of fossil fuels should be reduced to some extent. Great, okay? However, imposing taxes is a controversial tactic. They are not with the same line of all of the views, which appears to have a number of contradictory effects, okay, impacts. We will consider both sides of the discussion in this essay. Remember, we will give our ideas, our opinion in the last paragraph, okay? On the one hand, those who support taxation of fossil fuels promote, right, the idea that supporter of taxation, right, promote the idea that higher prices will result in lower consumption and therefore thus lower emissions. They demonstrate evidence, they show evidence from countries, from developed countries, such as Sweden, where here is a place, this appears, this seems, this, okay, to be the case, this is the true, and urge other nations to follow suit. Furthermore, additionally, proponents of fuel taxes claim that the funds raised can then be used to subsidize renewable energy projects such as solar and localized biofuel reactors, okay? Supporters, proponents, they are the same, okay? To the supporters of this idea, these benefits are convincing. They are actually this ideas is logical for them, okay? Other part, body part 2. This is on the other hand, on the other hand, opponents of fuel tax are able to cite to demonstrate evidence from other countries, including France and Italy, where higher tax has apparently not reduced demand for such fuels, right? In these cases, nice these cases nice linking sentences. We have a link with the previous sentence, right? This impact has been to force people to pay more for the same volume of energy, which appears to penalize those who cannot you can least afford it. Moreover, additionally, critics of, opponents of fuel tax also highlight, show, cite, demonstrate, point to the difficulty in governments promoting renewable schemes without interfering in the entire energy market. If the state was to control the entire market for fuels, they say this would force suppliers to leave the market, therefore thus reducing competition and efficiency, okay? And therefore reducing competition and efficiency. This argument also appears to be quite powerful, strong, okay? Our conclusion part, to sum up, to recapitulate, all in all, to conclude, I would tend to side with, okay? I support this idea. I would tend to side with the opponents of fuel taxation. It seems to be, it is logical. It appears to be impersonal style, unreasonable, to force vulnerable consumers to pay more for a commodity, for a good, for a service which is necessary, which is essential to them. Without a real infrastructure for renewable energy being in place, it would be more logical. Another great great phrases for impersonal style, to improve availability, accessibility of renewables first, which would allow consumers to make a genuine choice, an actual choice, okay? Let's go on. How should be paragraph structure? In any IELTS essay, Task 2, the main body paragraph must be carefully organized. The classic pattern is to have 2 or 3 ideas in each paragraph. If you have more than 3 ideas in each paragraph, you will probably not be able to finish the essay in 40 minutes. We cannot finish it. It's actual. This applies to all type of essay, both opinion and ideas types. In this essay, the candidate has used 2 ideas in each main body paragraph to present the possible arguments on each side, but try to use at least 2 reasons, okay? One, if you use one, it would be short paragraph. Therefore, you will lose your mark, okay? Notice how the ideas are presented. The writer uses a conjunction to introduce each idea. On the one hand, moreover, on the other hand, additionally, and so on, and then states the idea followed by a simple example or an explanation of the idea. Each idea is generally presented or exampled or explained in 2 or 3 sentences. For example, on the one hand, those who support taxation of fossil fuels promote the idea that higher prices will lead to lower consumption and thus lower emissions. Great way. They point to evidence from countries such as Sweden where this appears to be the case and urge other nations to follow suit. When you are writing your main body paragraphs, they try to organize them like this pattern. Have 2 or 3 ideas, each idea being presented and or exampled or explained in 2 or 3 sentences. Remember to use conjunction to introduce the ideas. Using evidences. In the task 2 instructions on the IELTS exam, the test tells you to use examples and evidence from your own knowledge and experience. The exact words may vary, but the general instruction is always the same. Remember that your own knowledge and experience does not mean events that have happened to you personally or your friends or your family members. It means fact that you have read about in the media and that you know from your own education. In this essay, the candidate has used evidence from Sweden, France, and Italy, but she has not given lots of statistics or numbers, which would be too detailed. In any task 2 essay, try to use evidence in this way. Refer to facts that you know about. Remember, not personal stories, and do not give too many statistics, numbers, figures. In this way, your essay will be convincing and still essay is still easy for the examiner to read. Let's go on. The last strategy, how to report views. When you are discussing different sides of an argument, it is a good idea to imagine how the supporters of one side would explain their views. One way, on the one hand, those who support taxation of fuels, fossil fuels, promote the idea that, another example, furthermore, proponents of fuel taxes claim that, right, great one. However, in body part 2, opponents of fuel tax are able to cite evidence, great. Moreover, critics of fuel tax also highlight the difficulty, right? Great, right? By reporting other people's opinion in this way, your essay will be more interesting and the examiner will feel that you are able to balance arguments well. It's not one-sided, it's not unbalanced. You did your job well, actually. You have to use phrases to report views. Supporters of, proponents of, those who support taxation, opponents of, critics of, those who oppose taxation, supporters. Side, supporters refer to, highlight, point to. Supporters claim that, say that, insist that taxation is correct, right? Supporters deny that, reject that, do not accept that taxation is correct strategy, and so on. In your essays, try to use this type of reporting method at least once in the main body. We have a practice task for you. Some countries today have passed laws against smoking tobacco in public buildings such as offices and restaurants. Other countries have no intention of doing this. Consider the possible arguments on both sides of this debate and reach your own conclusion on which side of your favor. Remember to post your sample answer in the comments. Okay. Thanks for watching our videos. Please like our videos, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notification. Then you'll be alerted to our future content. And take care of yourself and see you soon in another reviews. Bye.